Sarah Cimaresti, and I'm with LBN Art. And today I'm with Christina Towell, and she's a Ferndale painter. She does a lot of landscapes, a lot of portraits, a lot of representational art, and she's been doing it for a really long time. And I'm so excited to pick her brain a little bit today and learn more about her art. Thanks for joining us today, Christina.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So yeah, my first question for you is just you have been painting for a really long time. Would love to know like a little more about your journey, what got you into it, and yeah, what you've been doing.
Sure. Well, I got back into painting just really only about 5 years ago. I went to CCS, the Center for Creative, I guess it's College for Creative Studies now, back in the 60s when it was called the Society of Arts and Crafts. And after high school, and you could go during the summer without having a portfolio or anything. You could go during the summer, and at the end of the summer, you put together a portfolio while you're there, and then you submit it, and you can be accepted to the art school. And I was lucky enough to do that, and I loved it there, and it was great. But I met my first husband there, and we got married, and had a kid, and life got in the way, and I really stopped doing any kind of art. And I did fiber art. Later on I got into fiber art, knitting, felting, women's hats, sandbags, that kind of thing. And I did that for maybe 20 years. And it was, I sold a lot of stuff, and I loved doing that. But then while I was doing that at a Noel Night, in, I don't know, well,
Right?
5 years ago, yeah, I met Liz Franklin, who was there selling her paintings. We were in the same, this was at the Lawrence, what is it called? Lawrence
Lawrence Street
Institute of
Gallery.
Technology. No, this was the Institute of Technology. They had a Detroit campus for a while on Woodward. And so I was there in the lobby, and with some other artists, and it was Noel Night, and it was busy, and I had all my knitted stuff, and Liz was there, and I loved her paintings. And we kind of communicated, and I started following her on Facebook, and then I discovered she was teaching classes in Berkeley, and which isn't far from Ferndale. And I thought, geez, I would love to take a portrait class and get back into painting, because I had always wanted to get back to that. And because I was a fine arts, that's what I was focused on at Arts and Crafts. So yeah, so I took a portrait painting a class with Liz, and I met some other wonderful artists that I'm still friends with. And my first portrait, got accepted at the Scarab Club Gold Medal exhibition in 2021, and which was shocking and wonderful, and I was thrilled about it and really surprised. And Shirley Woodson was the juror, and a really fine, established Detroit artist. And so that was just a really wonderful moment and experience. And so from there, I just thought, well, I'm just going to keep doing this. I love doing it, and I'm going to keep submitting work to shows, and I've gotten into a lot of shows, luckily, and it's just it's a wonderful feeling. And then we formed a group at Articipate, which is the gallery that I took the classes at in Berkeley. And we call it the Articipate Collective. And we have been in some group shows together, including the gallery at Brewery Park and the Cranes Building, Lawrence Street Gallery in Ferndale, the Bloomfield Township Library. We've had 2 group shows there. And now coming up this year, we have a half a dozen shows. We're going to have a group show at Lawrence Street, and we're going to have a show at Ferndale, in the Ferndale Library, in March, for about 6 weeks, actually, starting in April. And we have a show at Color Inc. in Hazel Park. And let's see, what else? just a handful of shows coming up this year that we're really excited about. So,
ready to shine a spotlight on your local business? Share your story and let us showcase what makes your local business extraordinary. Fill out our interview request form to register for a free exclusive interview where we'll dive deep into what sets your business apart and why it's a must visit in the community. Don't miss this chance to amplify your brand and connect with your audience on a whole new level. Connect with local business news today.
I have seen some of your fiber arts. Your purses are gorgeous.
oh,
How do you still make fiber arts?
well, I do actually. I was going to step away because I didn't really do much over the summer, and so I didn't apply to the Detroit Artist Market holiday show this year, which I've been doing probably for the last 5 or 6 years, because I didn't really think I had anything, and I wanted to focus more on painting, and I was going to step away from that a little bit. So
Okay.
I didn't submit any work, but then they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we really want you to be in the show. We were, would you reconsider?" So I said, "Let me look at what I have." And I did a little quick inventory and I discovered I had probably enough things to submit. So I did. And gosh, I had a great year. I mean, I sold a lot of stuff opening night. In fact, the next day she asked me if I could bring more stuff in. And so I guess I'm going to keep knitting for a while.
Aw. Well, you're super inspiring to me, Christina. I love how you connect with people and how you put your heart into everything. And yeah, it's just been a real privilege getting to see you and see your art. What are you working on right now? Like, can you give us a
Well, we've got this show coming, all these shows coming up. So I just figured this is the perfect time in winter when there's not much else going on to just crank out some stuff. So I've a few years ago, I was down in North Carolina in Asheville, and we went to a lot of galleries down there with my friends, and I discovered this one painting, and my friend actually bought it, and it was these bowls, like 3 bowls stacked up on top of each other. And I found out they're Catherine Holm designed bowls, and she's Norwegian. So it's kind of that whole Danish modern, Norwegian modern kind of stuff. And I have one, but it's a different color. But I thought, oh, that's just like my bowl. And I loved it. It was just simple. It was these 3 bowls, red and white, and then a little black bird perched on the top. And the artist's name is Sarah Faulkner.
Okay.
And I just thought I love the idea of using things that I have around the house, kitchen things, pictures, all the things that I've collected over the years to paint those and to sort of fill up the canvas with them. And so she was my inspiration for that. And so I've done this is where I collect that. And then this is the bowl. This is the bowl upside down.
Lovely.
And hers were red and white, but I had this gold one, and I thought I want to do something with that. And I had this old sifter, and so I put that on there. And and then I'm also working on a self-portrait too. And this was actually a photo that Silvano took of me at my husband's memorial at Harding Park, and it was just a great photo. And I started it thinking I was going to submit it to the Lawrence Street Body Eclectic show this year, but I didn't make the deadline. I'm still tweaking it. I'm still working on it, so I didn't make the deadline. But anyway, I have it, and so that's always fun too. And then I started on another bowl painting, 2 other bowls stacked one on top of the other. And so I'm just sort of looking around the house, finding things, interesting things that I have that I've collected over the years that I can paint.
Looking for the best local businesses? Stop searching and start discovering. Our directory lets you sort by city and type to find exactly what you need, plus links to our exclusive interviews and business contact information. Rediscover an old favorite or find your next favorite spot at localbiznews.net. Check it out now.
you've been doing this for a long time, and you've also just like you've kind of built out your style and your collectives and your network, and that's kind of intimidating, I think, for a lot of like newer artists who are just like they've been doing this like in their basement, or it's been their hobby for a long time, but they have no idea like how to build a relationship or a friendship and start getting involved. How do you
Yeah.
how do you start? What's some advice for that you have?
Well, I think you just have to put yourself out there. You just have to start submitting to shows. And actually, I took a class at the Detroit Artist Market recently. They have these entrepreneurial classes going on now. And so some of my fellow artists and I took a couple classes down there, and it's all about how artists can market their work and how to make money, making art, and which is we're all struggling with,
Yes.
especially now. And so I think it was beneficial in that, well, for one thing, I've been on Instagram. I have a special art page for, Instagram art page, but I didn't realize that I set it up as a business page, and so that I could put prices on there.
Yep.
So that's what I've recently been doing. Over the holidays in my downtime, I just went through all of it, put prices on it, or things that weren't for sale, or things that had been sold that are on my Instagram page, which is Christina Towell Art, by the way. And and then we also delved into the whole AI thing a little bit. And I know you're not a fan, and I'm not a fan either, but in terms of us learning how to price our art, and not to not to devalue our art, to really pay yourself for your time, for the space that you're in, for your materials, all that stuff. So I learned some really good tools, I think, at these classes, and I think it was beneficial. So we're gonna set up a web page, a website through the group. I think that's in the works. And some of the artists are setting up their own websites, which I don't know. I'm not in a financial position to do that right now. I'm gonna wait and see how they do with it, and then maybe just go with the group one for now, and hopefully maybe something will happen on Instagram too. But yeah, I know I had a friend visit recently who was also an artist and an art teacher, and he said, "Well, what are you doing with your art? Are you keeping it? Are you selling it?" I said, and it's tough. It's a balance, because a lot of things I'm too connected to, like paintings of my grandchildren, or things that that mean a lot to me, that I don't want to sell. But I would like to be able to make some money doing this, because I need it.
Yeah, we all unfortunately need it. So, yeah, I think that's a very delicate line with like making things that like, because people make art for, it's a form of love and joy and spirituality, and some of it's not like this. You're not thinking of like how I'm going to sell this, which honestly makes some of the best art. But then other times it's like, how do I make something that is, applicable and appealing to other people, and this might relate to them. So there's like that very delicate balance there.
Exactly. In fact, I am thrilled, because one of my fellow artists bought a painting of mine recently that was a self-portrait that I really wasn't planning on selling. In fact, I had taken it to the framers already. I was going to frame it. But then there was some question about whether she could get the frame in time. I was going to submit that to the Lawrence Street Body Eclectic show too. And so I thought, well, if I did that, I'd put a price tag on it, But one of my fellow artists asked if it was for sale, and I said, well, it could be, but it's at the framers right now. And she said, well, I'd like to buy it unframed. And so I talked to the framer. She said, no problem. I got it back. And so that was just really a thrill. So when one of your fellow artists, likes your work, likes what you're doing, it's even more special, I think.
Yeah, I think the favorites are always the ones that are like maybe they know that the artist has such an attachment to it, you can't show it. But yeah,
Right.
I had this balloon dog animal, and that was a mosaic that I made that I was really excited about. And somebody it was like one of the first ones that went. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, no, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a new home. That's okay.
I know, as long as it's going to a good home, I know, and it's flattering. It's flattering when somebody else that's really talented likes your work. I think it just makes you feel good. So since I sold that self-portrait, I had to start another one.
That
So
one's I can tell I have a really good feeling about them. That one I could tell just the color palettes and yeah, take your time, don't rush that one. I yes, it's already coming along, Christina.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's fun. I feel like painting if painting self-portraits was good enough for Van Gogh, it's good enough for me.
Absolutely. And on that note, it was really, really nice talking to you today, Christina. And
Likewise.
thank you so much.
Thank you.